Today I want to talk about the worst tech predictions of the last 100 years. And the reason why I want to talk about it is because I think to have sustained success in business, you've got to be able to do some predicting. And so I'm going to contrast it first. I want to start with a couple of these though, because these are rather entertaining. 1876, William Orton, president of Western Union, says the telephone has too many shortcomings to be seriously considered as a means of communication. 1946, Darren Zanuck, he's a producer and co-founder of 20th Century Fox, says television won't be able to hold on to any market it captures after the first 6 months. People will soon get tired of staring at a plywood box. So it's just interesting to me. You know, anybody can sit up here and profess to be able to tell you what the future's going to hold, like the Cubs are going to win the World Series. Oh, check, that one happened right too. Or the Raiders are going to win the Super Bowl next year. Well, I don't know, that one might actually be possible, hard to say. You know, or the Packers will win the Super Bowl yet again. Going for it. Anyway, point is, who knows what the future really truly holds? But here's the key to long-term success. Do you have children who play video games? And have you ever tried to play against your children in video games? Because my guess is if you have, they kill you. I mean, absolutely crush you. You go play one of these like Mortal Kombat games or whatever they are, where you run around and you shoot things and you shoot people. And you think they just beat you because they have a faster reaction time? The reality is as to why the kids beat you, it's kind of like Pac-Man. They memorize the patterns. And so they've memorized the patterns. They know when they come around this corner, right over there is going to be a bad guy, so I just got to get ready. I got to shoot him over there. There's going to be a bad guy. They just have such great memories that they memorize these patterns that take place in these video games. And that's all these are. They're pattern-driven games. That's what Pac-Man was. I didn't realize that until I heard the song talking about uncovering the pattern in Pac-Man to be able to win it. But there's only one way you can win Pac-Man, apparently. Never won it. Should go back and try it maybe. So here's the question. How does this apply to business? And the way it applies to business is to be able to anticipate where things are going. Now, can you be clairvoyant like the Simpsons were in 2012 and predict that that sometime in the future Lady Gaga would in fact be the Super Bowl halftime performance? And if you don't believe me, go back and Google search it. There is a picture of Lady Gaga coming down out of the sky in 2012 on The Simpsons. So, can we predict like that? No, we can't probably be that futuristic sighted. But what we can do is start to see patterns developing. And what we can do then is respond to them quickly. I'll give you some examples. Every now and then I still run into a doctor who seems to think that technology in dentistry is not going to work. A little bit shocking. And it's not that they don't think it's going to work, it's they don't want to buy it, they don't want to pay for it. And I can appreciate the not wanting to spend money, because nobody likes to spend money if they don't have to. But here's the challenge. The pattern I've seen since 2008 is that dentistry appears to be more of a consumer product or service, meaning elective, that I can choose when I want to do it, than it was prior. And especially if I go back to, the 80s as an example, you walked in to talk to your doctor, your dentist then, they said you needed something, you just went, sir, yes, sir, just like you would with your oncologist today. But now when your dentist suggests something to the average patient's sitting there thinking to themselves, I'm going to take a vacation first, buy a new car, and get the new iPhone 24 that has this screen that slides out. I don't know if you've seen that video. It's kind of cool. Not sure if it's real. Guessing not. My point is, patients' perception of dentistry is that it's become elective. It's not something I have to do anymore. And so we need to understand and adapt to that change and speak to the patients in a form that they're used to being spoken to. What is the psychology they are used to hearing from all the other marketing sources, whether it's Best Buy, Apple, Carnival Cruise, Ford and GM, whatever the case is. And what you find is most people are selling pain or pleasure. Avoiding pain, gaining pleasure. So the point is we need to understand how patients are used to being communicated with, and we need to do it ourselves. We need to adapt to the way the world is changing and bring it into dentistry. And if we're not doing it, we're asking to be left behind. Think of another trend in dentistry. You know, the corporate dental model has taken off to some degree. Now, it's still under 20%. You know, there's some people that are afraid it's going to take over the world. Here's my prediction. It won't. I could be wrong, though, by the way. But I don't think it will, and I don't think it will for a couple reasons. But the reason it has been successful is because dental school has gotten so complicated for the students that they don't learn enough. And I'm not digging on anyone coming out of school like you don't know what you're doing. What I'm saying is, if I went back 20, 30 years ago, how much pharmacology did a dentist have to take 20 years ago? Not much. How much pharmacology do you take now coming out of dental school? So you're taking so much that's a liability reducer that you need to understand because so many patients are on so many drugs that it's taken away from the time to learn how to do dentistry. So my challenge to you and to your team is to brainstorm what challenges do you see in your market, your state, your practice that you could anticipate. Share them with your coach. Email them over to your coach and say, hey, I'm thinking about this. What are your thoughts? Let's start a dialogue about it. Do we need to spend a ton of time on this? No, because it might not ever happen. But should we have a conversation? We should. We really should. Anticipation is the key. If you don't want to get shot in the video game by your kid, you need to anticipate how they do it. That's how they win. So my advice to you is to anticipate the areas in your business where you can thrive and where challenges might come. And if you do, you'll have a very, very bright future. Hope you've enjoyed the show. Can't wait to see you next week, 8 o'clock Mountain, 10 o'clock on the East Coast. Till then, have a wonderful day. What if you could have the practice of your dreams? What's holding you back? Imagine a life where you have everything you ever wanted.